Hi, amazing teenagers. Welcome to Let's Just Sit Onla. I am Oluwaseun Olusegun, the host of Let's Just Sit Onla. It's been a very, it's been a very long time, and I really don't know what to say because it felt like I abandoned everyone here, and it was not my will to abandon everyone here, not at all. And I really want to apologize for that. I know that at the beginning of this year, I said something that I'll be very consistent with posting on YouTube and posting here on my channel. And then I started with being consistent. I started with being consistent, but later on, it just felt like I stopped posting as usual. In fact, I think I stopped posting for like 3 months or so, and I really want to apologize for that. So, school has been so tricky, and I had to deal with quite a number of things. But that aside, I'll still address it on my community post and then give a formal apology to everyone on my So YouTube. Let's dive into what we have today. So there's this thing called losing your spark, and it is not something that is new to our hearing. You would hear when people say, "Oh, I've lost my spark," but the way people address it, they address it more in relationships, like, "Oh, I lost my spark with him. I lost my spark with her. I'm no longer interested in the relationship." But in the context of today, it won't be talking about relationship, but rather me, losing my spark for something that I love to do, losing my spark for something that I am so determined to do. So that is basically what we'll be talking about today. So as teenagers, there is this desire in us to always want to be successful. There is this desire in us to be a change, to be a solution provider, to solve problems, to solve issues, to be unique, to be different, to stand out. And when I mean successful, I don't mean teenagers who go through illegal sources just so they can be successful. I mean teenagers who want to be successful academically, they want to do well spiritually, they want to do well career wise, they just want to be unique. There is something that drives you, there is something that drives us, there is this vision we have, there is this vision you have in mind, this goal. So, all the decisions you take and make, the things you do, is as a result of that vision. The enthusiasm you have, the determination you have inside of you, is as a result of those visions. So there are times when you may not want to go further again with what you are doing. You may not want to continue with what you are doing. But then when you have that vision, when you have that pictorial effect, the image, that imagination of who you want to be, knowing that God has good plans for you, and then you're also working on it. When you have this vision, goals in mind, it jacks you up again, it makes you pushes you to do more. But then all of a sudden, did I say yes, this whole enthusiasm leaves, this whole determination leaves, basically as a result of the situation you find yourself in. And when I say situation you find yourself in, I do not mean, or I do not necessarily mean family issues. It may not even be family issues, and it could not be family issues. It doesn't necessarily have to be family issues. It may be as a result of pressure, you pressuring yourself into doing so much. Maybe because you see people doing well in their field, you see people doing really well. For example, let me use the academic area. People are quite different academically. The way I would read is different from the way you read. And the way I will read that I'll get results is different from the way another person will read and also get results. But we are all aiming for something. It could be, not even it could be, we are all aiming for the first class, right? Yes, so you seeing that person, the way they read, maybe they talk about, or they read for 10 hours in a day, and then you just read for 5 hours in a day. It's become so much for you. Like, how's this person reading for 10 hours in a day? Let me read for 10 hours in a day. Meanwhile, your own reading may not necessarily have to be 10 hours. It could be 5 hours, and then you achieve a lot. It could be 3 hours, and then you achieve a lot. So in the process, you pressurize yourself. And in the process of pressuring yourself, you may not now be seeing results like that other person. And because you don't see results, you have been trying and trying, I'm not interested again, you've totally lost your spark. What is driving you academically, you've lost it. And it may not even be in this area. It could be spiritually too, before you do things out of your love for God, you do things out of delight. Now you now do it more like duty. You make it more like a duty, and you're being forced. So let me just do my quiet time today because they said we should be doing it. You know, you've also lost your spark in that spiritual line. You don't do the things you want to do for God out of your love for Him or because, oh, I've not met with God today, let me meet with Him. Now do it so that let me try to tick that box. Monday, yes, tick. Tuesday, tick. Wednesday, tick. Thursday, tick. Friday, tick. So that is losing your spark. You know, you've lost your spark. And in case you are this type of person who, or rather, you may be this kind of person who really wants to build on yourself, who really wants to build on themselves, and then you see you are this kind of person that whenever you see things that would help you, you always go for it. You always go for it. Be it a registration, be it volunteering, you would go for it. Be it speaking, be it debating, you would go for it. But then all of a sudden, you see all these things and you don't go for it anymore. You know, losing your spark can also make you to refrain yourself from people. You don't want people around you, just want to be alone because you have lost your spark. So these are situations. It may not even be pressure alone. It could be comparison. Okay, I still said comparison under pressure. You know, comparing yourself with other people. Oh, this person does this person does that. How is my own different? Then in the process you pressure yourself. I know in this process of losing your spark, it's like you've lost your identity, you've lost yourself, you don't know who you are anymore. You are like, okay, the things I was doing, the things that I was doing, why did I even do it? Why is it looking like so many questions popping through your mind and all. Sometimes you get very overwhelmed by things, you get really overwhelmed by things, just so overwhelmed by things, you don't know what's next, you don't know where to go to, you don't know who to talk to, and it's like, oh, I'm tired. I'm really tired. I'm not interested anymore. I don't just want to date. And mind you, I'm not just speaking here because, oh, it's been long I posted on YouTube. Let me just look for a topic. Not at all. Now, let me share a quick story with you. So, in my second semester, this was what happened to me. I lost my spark. I was so confused. I fell sick in the process. A lot of things happened, but I'm grateful to God because I found myself back. And so, in all this process, in all this issue, in all this through all this process, I was glad I found myself back, knowing my whys. Why did I do it in the first place? Why was I this kind of person in the first place? Being able to identify my whys made me jack up back and talking to the right people, talking to the right people to help me. So coming back home, I saw something about losing your spark. And I was like, I was still talking to God. I was praying that God, if I come back home now and I want to post on YouTube, what do I want to say? Because it just felt like my brain was blank and I just didn't have anything to share with you people here. So I saw that thing about losing your spark. And I was like, why did I not see this thing when I was even going through my own phase of losing my spark? Why did I not see this thing? So I read it and I just kept it to myself when I came back home. So after that, I saw someone post something about losing their spark, about how they felt pressured, about how they just felt overwhelmed, about how they were like, okay, they're going to be consistent with their social media posting and all, but all of a sudden they're not consistent anymore. About how they fell sick, about how they kept crying for them. I saw it and I was like, why does this relate to me so much? Then I had to talk to the person that see this thing that you posted today is something I just came out from. So that was when I just knew that, oh yes, this is what I need to say to people. So in case you may be out there and then you don't know what is wrong with you exactly, it may be that you've lost your spark. You see yourself, you're asking yourself that why is it that before I used to do all these kind of things, all of a sudden I don't do it anymore. It could be that you've lost your spark. And in case you are on your way to losing your spark, this is for you. Make sure you listen to it because losing your spark cannot be overemphasized. Losing your spark is something that would happen at one point or the other, but you are the one that will bring yourself out. You're the one that will bring yourself out. Oh, yes, I've lost my spark. I've lost my spark. I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed. Don't just keep saying I've lost your spark. Yes, you've lost your spark. How can you bring yourself back up? How can you ignite your fire back? How can you get your fire back? How can you get your spark back? So this brings us to how we can get our spark back. How, yes, I've lost my spark. Yes, I'm crying. Yes, I'm depressed. Yes, I'm not interested. Yes, I don't want to talk to people. Yes, I just want to be on my own. How can I get my spark back? Number one way to get your spark back is that you have to pray concerning it. I mean, prayer does a lot of things, and I do not want to be biased because I mean, Muslims may be listening to this, but this is just to tell you, pray. Tell it to God, God, I don't know what is wrong with me. I think I have lost my spark. It's like this the things I used to do before, I'm not doing it anymore. And then mind you, there is one other thing I want to say. You may lose your spark in a particular thing because that is not God's plan for you. Because that is not God's plan for you. You know how we as human beings, especially as teenagers, we are very, I don't want to use the word rebellious, but we can be very stubborn. You want to do what you want to do. You just want to do it your own way. And then by the time you do it your own way, you are happy, you feel this pleasure for a while. But then God is saying, no, that is not the way. That is not the way. This is not what I'm telling you to do. That is not it, but no, you will not listen. So you just have to use that means to make you lose interest to that particular thing. So instead of now sitting back and like, oh God, what is wrong with me? I don't know. I've lost my spark. I was doing this thing before. It just was like it's not for me. Now pray concerning it. In the process, God would bring you back. God would channel you back. God would what's the word? He'll put you back on track. Yes, he'll put you back on track to the things you need to do. So pray concerning it. Number two, know try to talk to people. Sorry, talk to the right people. You don't have to share with everyone. Like in my own face, I didn't share with everyone. I think I talked to like just my own people, not even people. Doesn't and I would advise that you don't meet people who are your age mates. And if it is people that are your age mates that can advise you and put you right back on track, it's fine. Or talk to the right people basically. The right people doesn't necessarily have to be your age mate. The right people can be your age mate. The right people, talk to the right people concerning it. Let them know what is wrong with you. Someone asked me one day in my own process, in my own this is my spark era, and was like, what is wrong with you? I could not say anything. All I did was to cry. Nothing is I don't know how to explain what is wrong with me. All I could do was just to cry. And that is what happens to most of us. You may not just be able to say it, you just cry at first. Cry, oh, it's good though. But if you continue crying, you will not move further, you will not move forward, you will not move anywhere. You'll just be on that same position. When people are making progress, you are still there. So pick yourself back up by talking to the right people. They would really help you. You don't know what they would say that would, ignite your fire back. You don't know. Then number three thing you should do is to know your whys. The steps you were taking before, the things you were doing before, the determination you had before, why were you having that determination? Why was that enthusiasm there? Why were you taking those bold steps? Why were you confident? Know your whys, then write it down. Write it down. Don't just know it in your head and, oh, no, I know my whys. No, yes, you know your whys, but write down your whys. Write it down. When you write it down, when you write things down rather, it makes you remember so many things. Like now, I've started cultivating the habit of writing. No matter what, I would write. If I listen to a sermon, I would write. It's not like, oh, I know it in my head. If an idea comes up, I would write. If I'm going out and I know that, oh, something will be useful for me at this, you have to write it down so you can check it back. There are so many webinars you might have attended, there are so many programs you might have attended concerning knowing your whys, knowing your identity, but then you don't remember because you didn't write it down. I remember last year someone sent something to me concerning teenagers, I think self-identity and everything like that. So I registered for it and I recorded each classes, not just self-identity, so many things. So I recorded all the classes, I wrote it down. So even in this process, when I lost my spark, when it felt like I was not interested in anything anymore, I went back to it. I would just go back to it. Oh, this, and then my diary where I write things, my journal, going back to it, pictures on my phone, maybe things that I've written before. That is just it. Write it down because you may not know. Writing it down would help you to remember. Writing it down will ignite your spark again. So know your whys. The number four is that you should re-strategize. Re-strategize. Know who you are from the beginning again. That's how I'll just describe it. Know who you are totally from the beginning again. Okay, yes, I lost my spark. Oh, I lost my spark. Who is Oluwashonla? What does Oluwashonla like to do? That is after knowing your whys. And I may not even arrange it accordingly. It's just as it's coming to my head that I'm saying it. Who am I? Who is Oluwashonla? What does Oluwashonla like to do? What does she spend time doing? When she's sad, what makes her happy? Yes, what does she spend time doing most? Start rediscovering yourself again because you are just you. You are unique. Nobody can do what you are doing better than you. That is basically what you don't know. You are very unique. You are different. Yes, someone may be doing something really great, but you are also doing something really great. You are going to start from small and then become who God wants you to be, what God has planned for you to be. So that is it. Then the last thing I would say is identify the issue. What caused that losing your spark? What made you lose your spark in the first place? Was it as a result of trying to please people? Was it because of you felt, oh, you are not enough? Identify the problem. What made you lose your spark in the first place? What made you lose your spark? Was it because people were beefing you and you felt like, oh, virtues is what I'm doing safe? Identify that problem, identify it. Take time to identify it. Excuse me. Take time to identify what your problem is. I mean, what the problem is, why you lost your spark. Then when you do that, you are fine. You are good to go. Everything is settled. God will be with you, and even be you would be better than who you were before losing your spark. Let's say before you lost your spark, you were doing really great. People were like, oh, that boy is unique, that girl is unique, and they would always recommend you. Then you lost your spark. Then you get your spark back. You'll be twice better or three times better than you were before you lost your spark. That is just it, you'll be. So rather than sitting down, wailing, complaining, thinking, oh, I lost my spark, I've lost my spark, and then you see people doing really well, and you're like, and this person is doing well, though. Try to get your spark back. Try to get your spark back. I mean, you are still growing, even if you've grown to a certain point, that doesn't mean that you are missing out. You're not missing out. Just be determined, be confident, pray, and pray. Just be you, be yourself, add value. Oh, this is the problem. I can give solution to this particular thing. Before I got admission to university, I know that I know how to plait hair really well. And I'll be like, God, I'd really be helping people want to plait their hair in case they don't have money to plait their hair. Because I know that in university, you see a lot of people plaiting their hair. You can plait hair like 3 times in a month. They're like, what is wrong with you? I don't have money to plait my hair. So for as many girls who may not have money to plait their hair, I'll take it upon myself to plait their hair. So at the beginning, it was not looking like it. So 100 level second semester, someone walked up to me and was like, "They want to plait their hair." I said, "Oh, I can plait this for you. Don't worry, you don't have to pay." And I didn't know that I would be able to plait the hair that way. Then I plaited the hair, plait the hair, and it really came out nice. And she was very happy. Just put a smile on someone's face. Yes, that is basically it. Just keep being you, like I said, just be unique. You are unique, you are different, and I pray that God will help you in Jesus' name. I would also advise that you go on breaks. Yeah, take a break, rest. Just sometimes alienate yourself when you feel so pressured, when you feel overwhelmed, and when you feel like you're about to give up on so many things. Take a break. I mean, take a break. You don't pressure yourself. Don't give yourself too much task. Do not give yourself too much task because When you can lose your spark. When you just want to be the one to do everything, please take a break. Rest is not a crime to rest. Ah, rest. Let me know how this has helped you, or if this helped you. Let me know one way or the other if you've lost your spark, how you lost your spark. Share with me. That is why this is called Let's Just Sit Onla, so that we can rub minds together. Sometimes I'll be the only one to talk. Sometimes I would invite people to also contribute to the topic. I also want to hear from you. Let me know what you feel about this topic. If you have lost your spark before, share with me how you lost your spark, the steps you took, how you were helped, how you helped yourself, how God helped you. Share with me, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for always tuning in to Let's Just with Onla. Thank you for always watching. Thank you so much for being the best and the most supportive audience. I love you all.